Hi, good afternoon, guys. My name is Marian Hernandez. I am the team lead for Shell Body 1 in the Weld department. We are actually on night shift this week, so today we will only have two people presenting out our QCC. It will be myself and Cindy Molina. She is the team lead for internal logistics. So for today, our QCC is Shell Body 1 heavy lifters, don't sweat the small deliveries. Our theme for this QCC is KPI, safety and productivity, concerns related to or impacted by team members' HYPs. So like I said, Shell Body 1 heavy lifters. We had two areas together in this QCC. We had production. It was myself. I was the QCC leader. We had Manuel Amador. He was one of our team members. Our advisor was Ruben Ramirez. And for internal logistics, we had Cindy Molina. She was a team lead for small parts. And the team members were Josh Lita, Valerie Rojas, and Cassandra Contreras. Our safety commitment is to utilize 5S methods to build a solid foundation to maintain good quality and productivity. So our theme selection matrix, we had three proposed themes. We ended up going with tender front door small parts HYP. That was our highest rank with 28. So for our level assessment and planning table, we were at a low zone D. I had not led a quality circle at all, so, and a few team members hadn't really done one, so we were ranked at a low zone D. Our target by the end of this quality circle was for us to go ahead and be a high zone D or a mid zone C. So to clarify the problem, our background was Shell Body 1 team had 18 HYP issues for the month of October 2019. Our ultimate goal, of course, is to build the highest quality truck safely in the shortest amount of time at the lowest cost with zero HYP issues from Shell Body 1. So our ideal situation is zero HYPs in Shell Body 1. Our current situation is 18 HYPs in Shell Body 1, and our gap is 18 HYP issues on Shell Body 1. So to break down the problem, we had 18 HYP issues, and when we broke it down to the three KPIs, our highest was safety with 11 out of 18. And when we broke it down further, we to the areas of Shell Body 1, which was Tacoma Hood, Tacoma Front Door, Tender Front Door, and Tacoma Deck, and we ended up going with Tender Front Door with 9 out of 18. So when we broke it down to the actual HYP issues, our issues were restocking parts with 6 out of the 18. So for that, our small parts delivery process to Shell Body 1 front door, the way it goes is internal logistics unloads pallets from a truck. Internal logistics then loads small parts onto the dolly. Internal logistics unloads small parts onto the flow rack, line side, and tender front door. A team lead or a team member grab parts from the bottom of the flow rack, and parts restock line side for team members in process. And as you can see, when we went to go and see, our team lead and team members grab parts from the bottom of the flow rack was our highest rank with 6 out of 6. And that brought us to our prioritized problem at the point of occurrence with 6 HYPs in Shell Body 1 and tender left-hand front door number 1 process when small parts are restocked line side. And you can see in the video, that is myself. I'm having to pick up that big tote from the bottom of the flow rack, carry it over to the actual process where the parts need to be restocked line side. You can see they're pretty big and long parts. And the team member has to wait back there in the back till we restock the parts for her. And once I'm done, I have to take the tote back to the flow rack, put it on the top rack. So our target setting is to eliminate the 6 HYPs on tender front door process number 1 by January 1st of 2020. So we had 6 HYP delivery issues in October of 2019, and we wanted a 100% reduction to 0 by January 2020. Our overall HYP issues was 18 in October of 2019, and we wanted to have a 34% reduction to 12 by January 2020. So our root cause analysis was 6 HYPs in Shell Body 1 and tender left-hand front door, number 1 process when small parts are restocked line side. So we went with man, and that was standardized work for restocking small parts in good condition, and this was confirmed through process observation. We then moved on to machine and the flow rack within standards for loading and unloading, and we confirmed this through internal logistics specifications. We then moved on to material, which was small parts within standards, and we confirmed this through individual weight standards. So we ended up going with method, and we had team members having difficulty restocking parts line side. Why? Small parts totes are broken and or missing handles. Why? Because the small parts totes are unable to hold the required weight of the total parts of quantity. Therefore, small parts plastic totes are broken and missing handles, and therefore team members are having issues and difficulties restocking small parts line side. We also had a contributing factor in method, which is team leads and team members having issues getting totes from the bottom of the flow rack. Why? Because the E6, F9 parts are on the bottom of the flow rack. Why? The parts are too heavy and need to be on the bottom of the structure of the flow rack. Therefore, the E6, F9 parts are on the bottom of the flow rack, and therefore the team leads and the team members are having issues getting totes from the bottom of the flow rack. And as you can see, this is a lot of the issues that we had line side was a lot of the totes were broken where we would grab them from the handles. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Cindy now. She will be presenting the rest of the slides.
Thank you, Marianne. For step 5, developing the countermeasures. Knowing that our root cause was that the small totes were unable to hold the required weights for the parts, and a contributing factor to that was because the totes were too heavy, where proposed countermeasures were either to rearrange the flow rack, and in order to do that, we had to contact internal logistics, and discuss any possible ways to rearrange the rack in order to accommodate that part. The other proposed countermeasure was to order new totes, okay? And to do that, we had to contact TMM TX Packaging and the supplier, who was Tower, in order to discuss the ability to either replace all the broken totes or what we can do about it. The other countermeasure was using metal containers to serve as a bulk delivery and change the whole delivery to this part. With that, we had to meet with TMM TX Packaging as well as our supplier Tower in order to reuse and recycle metal containers that we already had. And lastly, the other option or countermeasure we had was to put less parts in the totes, so that way it wouldn't create any issues with breakage on those plastic totes. And for that, we had to contact our supplier Tower. Through our selection matrix, the one that had the highest score was, of course, our metal containers. Step 6, seeing the countermeasures through. From week 1, we had to contact TMM TX Packaging to be able to get the information on the cost to be able to get either new totes or use versus the metal containers. We did that within the first week, as well as with working with internal logistics to rearrange the flow racks to make it easier to access to either remove or reload the E6 F9 parts. On the second week, we contacted TMM TX Packaging in an attempt to get the totes with less parts. And on the third week, we had the trial of the metal containers. As of the fourth week, we got approval from Order Logistics and Q&I, and we started delivering line side through the metal containers. Step 7, confirm results and process. Having HYP part delivery issues, we had 100% reduction from the time of October 2019 through January of 20. We eliminated it through the metal containers. Overall HYP issues, we reduced it by 34% in that same period of time. So the positive results from this QCC, where we were able to eliminate all the HYP concerns from TLs and TMs by 100%, total elimination. We also helped internal logistics by cutting back deliveries from 6 to 8 totes per quarter to only 1 metal container per shift due to the QPC variance. Internal logistics and team leaders were able to rearrange the flow rack for better flow for both production and internal logistics deliveries. There was also a cost savings of $50,000, 544, by eliminating plastic totes altogether that break easily due to the weight of the parts. And we were able to utilize the leftover metal containers that we already had in production. These metal containers do last longer and are very durable, especially for those parts. I'm going to send it over to Mariana, and she'll discuss the results and process.
So step 7, results and process. As you can see, our line side restock, it's a lot easier. It goes smoother. It doesn't, not as much time for me to get the tote. Process, we're not wasting time. I'm not wasting the team members' time getting in their way. It's so much better for everyone. And then I'll go ahead and pass it on to Cindy again, and she'll be showing you the before and after for internal logistics.
The before and after an internal logistics delivery, big difference. The before condition, the team member had a dolly with the loaded pallets with the E6 F9s. If you can imagine, I'm 5'5" feet, and the E6 F9 was right at the height of my head, okay? So if you're looking at a challenge team member taking a tote from that height down with a weight of 27 pounds, okay? From the height of 5'5" going down to the lowest part of the rack, as you see there in the picture, okay? And most of the time, those totes did have some breakage in it, didn't have good grip handles on it, pass-through handles. Some of them only had indentations for fingers to lift up, and 27 pounds is a little difficult to do. That was the before. We had 68 deliveries per quarter. Each tote with parts weighed about 26, 27 pounds. The after condition, as you'll see, it's only 1 to 2 deliveries per shift now. It now contains 275 parts in it. Team member gets the metal container loaded onto the dolly, goes to the location, pulls out the empty as he's doing there, drives up a couple of feet. As you'll see here. He'll dismount, and then he'll release the container to be pushed off and rolled off into the location that it's needed now. There's no more need for a team member to reach on the top of the totes, reach for the top tote and deliver it to the bottom. Total elimination. Step 8, standardized successful processes. We completed the QI approval of parts in the metal containers. This was done back in January of 2020 of this year. We do have 2 outstanding ones which we are still in process right now. We're view contaning to rear doors to further help internal logistics and reducing the delivery burden on the team members, as well as implementing new containers to the shell body 2 area to reduce the space needed for the flow racks and to improve safety. I'll turn it over to Mariana to finish.
So for our level assessment at planning table, we were able to hit our goal, which was a mid-zone C. For me, being my first quality circle and able to finish it, I was just very proud of Weld and internal logistics working together to get this going. I didn't realize that they had HYP issues as well. I mean, this was just our HYP issues that I was trying to tackle, and I was very thankful that I was able to help them tackle their HYP issues. And yeah, we were able to hit our target of a zone C. And here you can see a testimony from one of our QCC members. Go ahead and play this for you guys.
And what was really great about this quality circle was that we had 2 different areas, production side and internal logistics coming together to try to problem solve this issue that both sides have to deal with. And it felt really great that we not such a burden on both sides. It's safe for both sides, logistics and production. And I'm glad that we're making some solvents with everybody in the, that it last weekend, and it's not something to
Just to go over kind of a reflection of what we did, this brought several shops together, and we couldn't have gotten it all done without bringing in also our production control ordering specialist, Richard Hartman, as well as our packaging analyst was Antonio Cuevas, as well as our manager of packaging and logistics, Robert Trotman, and as well as our TPM team here in Bodywell with Manuel Ramon and his team. We got everything pretty much done when we needed. It was a very quick QCC we had to put in. It was done probably within a full month, getting everybody all involved in one focus. So it was a delight to do this, especially to be able to include multiple shops to do this.
I just want to say again, like with my first QCC, being part of this company, they really stress on you that we are one team, we have one goal. And as I learned today with our QCC, we are one Toyota, one team, one goal. Like Cindy said, we had to work with TMMTX packaging. We had to work with the supplier, which was Tower. We had to work with internal logistics and production as well. We all worked as one team, and we were able to accomplish this QCC and get, our HYPs handled, their HYPs handled. I know it helped their team members. It helped us as well. We didn't know going into this that COVID was right around the corner. And when we started having manpower issues and things like that, we were online constantly, and I was not able to do my job as a team lead and get these parts for these guys, for my team members. So I'm just thankful that I was able to implement this on my line, and it's so much easier for them to do their work and get those parts, for themselves when they have to, when we are all online, trying to make the build and things like that. So I'm just very thankful. I want to thank Cindy for just, working with us and coming to the meetings and getting her team members to make sure we come to the meetings and getting it done. So that is it for our QCC. Thank you for listening to our present out. If y'all have any questions.
Okay, MSC members, let's give them a round of applause. And to our MSC team, we'd like to open it up for Q&A.
Hey, Ben, this is Todd. I'll start. And I'll start with my safety commitment. I'll ensure safety in our group by good communication, follow up on issues to arise. Ladies, you guys did a phenomenal job. Marion, when you guys presented this to me, a few weeks ago, I was so happy because you really focused on the fundamentals of HYP. We teach team members and tell team members, please let us know, please let us know. And sometimes they don't do it, but obviously these team members were. And you took it and you ran with it, and you made a huge improvement. You improved ergo, you saved some money. I mean, you guys nailed it all. I mean, from Weld, from logistics to packaging and ordering, you touched every aspect of really the company and a lot of those things. And, for this being your first QCC, you showed great leadership, great, diligence and everything going through this with everything that you're dealing with, besides working on this in your day-to-day line side activities, trying to support the team members. So I'm so just happy and excited for you, and really, really proud of you and Cindy and everything you've done, and just working with your teams and showing the team members that we truly care and that you have the power to make changes in your jobs to make them better, to work smarter, not harder, and figure things out. And you got the support you needed to do that. So very grateful and very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Sandy Knott. My safety commitment is to challenge all unsafe acts at TMM Texas to ensure zero incidents as possible. Thank you guys very much for sharing your QCC activity. Maybe first and foremost, I need to apologize to you because I am responsible for production control and logistics, and I'm not sure why that container would have ever been in production. considering the wingspan that's necessary to pick it up. So, but thank you, as Todd said, for raising up this issue. You guys had to deal with that every day, and it didn't look very comfortable, to try to pick that up and carry it to your process. So, I really appreciate you guys tackling that, and hopefully when you raised it up, maybe someone acknowledged the issue, I hope. But I appreciate you taking the bull by the horns and going after it yourself. And, as Todd said, you really were able to improve several KPIs and just simply create a safer situation, for several folks within those processes. So congratulations, and keep looking for those types of situations in your process. And please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you need some support in doing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Suzanne Kazunas. My safety commitment is to wear a face shield when I'm interacting with somebody at 3 foot or less. Thank you, ladies, for the presentation. I had one question I was going to ask, which was, if you were able to learn during your investigation why this process was set up this way in the beginning, but I'll leave that question for Sandy. Maybe my question for you is, has it always been like this? Like since SOP, we've always used this tote? Do you know?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations for solving a problem that has been around for so long. And, let's make sure that we give this feedback in our preparation for the next model so that we make sure that we've got good consideration for your health and just to make sure that we don't run into anything similar in the future. Thank you very much. And great activity cross department. I love that last slide with the one Toyota and all the different groups that you interacted with. That's a tough thing to do. And for this to be your first QCC, Mariana, very impressive. And, it looks like it was something that you guys stuck with and you persevered and ended up making a big change in your process. So great job.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we have some certificates. So Mr. Burkowski is going to be, Elliot is going to be passing out some certificates for you at this time. Thank you.
It's going to be Paige.
Oh, hey, Paige. Hey, Paige is going to do it.
Paige King, Girl Body Weld Manager. My safety commitment, I will always set the example for following steps. So I just want to say thank you very much for your leadership in both areas. I know you guys went out of your norm and kept with this project and worked with PC a lot, and I gained a lot of knowledge out of that. And show your team members that you truly care about them, and that's our number one goal for that. So I really appreciate all your hard work with this. So I do have some certificates for you. The first one, Mary and Amanda.
Yeah.
Okay, Melina. And then group leader Ruben Ramirez.
Yay.
So again, thank you for all your hard work and dedication to the